gonna have to square off against the loser of VP versus Liquid. See how pulls it out now. It looks like EG are going to be on the dire side. Complexity with the first pick here, and they will be already giving the nod to Fear, getting rid of the Enigma.
So it's the same sequence as the last game. coL was on first pick, and EG was on dire.
Yeah, so there was another coin toss for this game. I can only imagine. Yeah, they do a coin toss before game 3. I wonder if they chose first pick or if EG chose dire though. It's probably the main question mark.
BPD look more smug.
Oh,
Oh,
Spirit.
the 2 photos?
Yeah.
Oh, Spirit. Dakota.
Oh, will Complexity take it? I know Z-Freak is typically their Earth Spirit player, but I would have more confidence in Fear.
Isn't Hanskin the player? Because he plays the Romas like the Tuz.
I feel like they both share the same thing, because I know before Hanskin was on the team, it was Z-Freak who was the Wisp player,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I feel like they
that's
can kind of trade that a bit. As far as who plays the better game, I don't think I've seen it personally enough. I would know that, though, you don't want to maybe hand it over to Fear, who plays a very, very good Earth Spirit.
It's a good move from EG, because I think they know coming in that Complexity likely would have just gone for another IO Tiny game, because this time they wouldn't have been an Enigma. So by leaving Earth Spirit in the pool, it means Complexity can't IO Tiny if they take the Earth Spirit, or if they take that, EG get Earth Spirit. So I think EG are willing to force Complexity to go away from their game plan, even though they give up Earth Spirit.
Oh, Marana, first pick here, and we'll be seeing the Faceless Void coming out. I think someone had said that the Faceless Void win rate has looked pretty bad for this tournament so far, but that's because a lot of the Eastern teams have been favoring it, and a lot of the Eastern teams have not been favoring wins. So,
Wow, Dakota, what are you trying to say here?
I'm just saying maybe EG
He's
are going to
saying
give a
what
spin
Ben
at
said
it,
in much more political terms.
CDC is just like first pick Void, first pick Void.
Dude, that guy's Void was so ownage though. Like,
It really was.
he made that hero look like it was top tier 1 pick though. I feel like teams stop picking Void because of the win rate, but honestly,
You shouldn't.
So
it's such a good hero. I would have been surprised if EG in this best of 3 hadn't picked at least.
It fits our discussion. Team fight, and then they have Mirana for lane. So
Yeah.
they basically have good lanes right now. You can pressure the lanes, and you have good team fight.
So it's all on lanes, because typically when we see Marana picked up, it's, maybe to counter something like a Chen or Enchantress. You have the benefit of getting rid of the creep very easily and being a nuisance, but you think it's a mid
No, they
Marana.
normally played on Fear, from what I've seen.
I think it's a recent. I've seen somebody else play it a decent amount recently.
Doesn't
really?
RTZ play the...
I guess all of
Sounds
them
like they
play it.
all play it.
He grinded some matchmaking doing this Veil Marana build, which he really liked.
Oh, Marana build.
I asked him about it. Said he was just clowning.
Yeah,
I think he was losing his mind.
He knows you're also coaching Liquid, so.
No, he was definitely losing his mind.
All right,
He doesn't.
all right.
I think it's most suited to like that kind of 4 or 5 position role for Fear, personally.
I do got to say, though, Faceless Void is very good against Earth Spirit, the time dilation, obviously against heavy spellcasters, and...
Does it work for the stones?
I would imagine... I'm not...
Probably not.
What about is it the same for Ember Spirit? Is he able to remnant easily?
5 seconds remaining.
Not sure though. I'm really not sure. Those are heroes that I don't play at all.
Reserve time.
Nonetheless, obviously he's not going to be able to pull or get an easy save on an ally in the Chrono. Can stun the Faceless Void a bit, but does ruin his synergy and being able to break out in a huge team fight here.
So they are drafting around the Chronosphere, like they have...
Witch Doctor Faceless Void a la TI4-esque.
coL can still take the Venge though. I think you almost have to. Against this kind of
Against
setup
Chrono,
already.
against Witch Doctor Death Ward.
Take like Oracle or something.
I've seen teams use Punch as a counter because you just hook the target out. But in this case, you
Winter.
Let's do it.
Reaching, but I would love to see it.
Dude, when we played against Fnatic in the qualifiers for Shanghai, they actually did that to us. Every time I chrono someone, they just punch.
Winter, if Complexity do that, you can tattoo BTS was here on my forehead.
He's making the wager for you.
Of course, they're not gonna do it now. They have Earth Spirit. They can't really fit it in anymore. Even if
I don't think the Earth Spirit was the reason they were gonna do it, man.
you're just a punch hater.
We've seen some teams try to tank it up though, like Sven to counter Witch Doctor Ward.
Yeah.
Press your easy Warcry button. Complexity said they like Bristle a lot, so.
Sven's good, but I feel it's one of those heroes that the Western teams aren't favoring. I think Swindle's even said like, oh, I don't know why everyone's picking, all these Chinese teams are picking Sven.
No, he was talking about the skill build. He thinks that he said that everyone was just building all the cleave and you can just fight with the stun. He doesn't understand why.
Yeah. Oh, again, Complexity, they want to make sure they have some team fight. They get the Wyvern to start things off.
It's good against the Void too.
Yeah, and
If the Witch Doctor's
and the
gonna be
Witch
close.
Doctor.
Yeah. I think. Mm, Complexity still need all their core heroes.
Yep. They have the two supports, and I think Beastmaster should
10
exclusively
seconds
be
remaining.
Swindle's hero. I don't think anyone else plays it on their team.
5
Definitely don't think they're
seconds
gonna try
remaining.
running it as a support all of a sudden. And I don't think it fits. The way that Limp wants to play is almost always semi-carry
Reserve
slash
time.
hard carry, and same with Jesse. The only time I ever see Jesse play Space Creators is like when he plays like Invoker and just runs with his team. That's a different thing entirely.
Invoker would fit EG's lineup, so doesn't it? They
Yeah.
have,
They
I
Chrono-
feel
Void.
like we say that about every team in every game.
That would fit. Invoker would fit their lineup.
Yeah, Invoker just
But then they
fits
never
in,
go for it.
Because isn't his win rate like horrendous right now?
They changed the Deafening Blast. That's pretty
Yeah, that's
significant.
yeah.
I mean, was that the? I've heard otherwise. I've heard, and I was gonna pose the question a lot coming into this. It's like, how significant is that nerf? But I remember talking to one player, and they felt that it isn't too significant because it's not like a pub play Invoker where you continually get those combos off over and over and over
It is
again.
significant, right? Like the more I think about it, like at the start I was, the same thing. Oh, it's just something small, But
Yeah.
but then when I watched the games, how many times I saw, if that was the old Deafening Blast, he would have gotten a kill or he would have gotten
TP
out.
out. there's-
Yeah.
Complexity
There's so many
turn
things.
to pick.
That's the thing too.
This combination, we were like talking about it a lot.
Sven Void?
The Sven plus Void, we were like always talking about how Sven can't really, hit inside the chrono unless he chronos.
I mean, I personally think it's fine. You're just not picking the two heroes for how they work together. The Void, time dilation works well with Sven. You slow everyone, and Sven blinks in and just cleaves them all down.
It's like a
there's-
for the other targets that the Sven is not
Yeah.
focusing.
10
You have enough
seconds
damage during the
remaining.
chrono with Witch Doctor. You set up a Marana arrow. You can pick a mid for
5
Sumail here,
seconds
like the
remaining.
Puck or whatever you may want to do damage into the Chronosphere as well. I don't think it's a problem. You're combining a carry that can't hit
Reserve
inside
time.
Chronosphere.
I really like the idea of the puck also because you got to expect that the puck is going to be under some serious pressure, especially from a roaming
Yeah.
Earth Spirit, and he is very hard to hit. Once
Hard-
you don't get that rolling boulder, it's a hard time.
Basically, like when you have a Void, I think when you pick a Faceless Void, you don't want the Faceless Void to be your sole initiator because you want someone else to ideally to set up something.
Evil geniuses turn to ban.
Bid Jakiro, let's go.
On a game 3 against EG, and they haven't seen the mid lane grab yet from EG.
They're revealing it's a core too because they've got Wyvern Earth
Yeah,
Spirit. So.
it's kind of like the idea that is because they have Sven, they have a lot of
10 seconds
physical
remaining.
reduction, so you go for a lot of more spell damage. It has
Kind
good.
of good against Chrono. You can throw an ice.
Complexity
If you're not
turn to
inside it, you
ban.
throw the
They
ice
have good
path.
Yeah.
synergy for the Wyvern. I know Parker mentioned that sometimes you can use the Wyvern as a setup.
Well, yeah, you throw the ice path as it's about to wear off, and then Macropie is there waiting. You've suddenly got all the AoE damage landing because it's a setup.
But doesn't that mean that it's
10
like kind of all in
seconds
again
remaining.
for complexity? They have like all
Well,
this push lineup.
And Jakiro
team
scales
fights and
great.
it pushes.
Evil
great, you think?
No, he
geniuses
doesn't.
turn to
Isn't it a bit scary though? You got a roaming Marana. Jakiro's a big guy. He's hard to move around. Arrows coming. You're like, I can't get away.
Yeah, his turn rate's
His
like
turn rate's
sucks.
terrible.
He's
Yeah.
tanky though.
It's tanky.
He has a lot of base damage now.
I mean, the complexity draft will come together with the last pick. Where they don't have late game now. It looks like they're kind of all in, but they could very easily pick something that will
Like a
scale well
Spectre.
here. Yeah, Spectre depends how much. I mean, there was a Death Prophet ban. EG worried about
10
worried about
seconds
the all-in
remaining.
push, but complexity by no means have to go all in.
Now they
5
had
seconds
banned
remaining.
Invoker. Complexity got rid of the Invoker. We had put out the idea of possibly a Puck coming for EG. Does a
Reserve
Jakiro
time.
actually make you think twice about going Puck? I don't not
Reserve
familiar
time.
with the mid lane
Isn't
Jakiro.
it
on who
alright?
he wins
How-
and who
what do you
doesn't
think,
win.
I
Blitz?
go Lena though.
Complexity
Super
turn
annoying.
to pick.
Jakiro is super annoying against every mid laner.
Lena's
How
a bit
about
better.
Lena?
I think Lena's okay, but if you get hit by a dual breath, and thing is, it always feels like Jakiro's harassing you. The cooldowns for the liquid fire and the dual breath are so low. I
But
played against it twice while I was in
At
China.
the same time, he has short range though. Doesn't like Lena do alright
There's
against
an
that?
Earth Spirit in the game.
There's
though.
an Earth Spirit.
Yeah,
But you have
can't-
a Mirana, so
10 seconds
Those aren't the
remaining.
same thing.
yeah.
Which one's
Are
gonna
you
be able
kidding
to
me?
make their
What the-
connection? Yeah.
You think EG sees that Earth Spirit? They're like, all right, guys, we've got the counter. It's a straight 1-to-1.
Well, you have
You'll arrow
something,
him
right?
like
Yeah.
mid-roll
He
or
has
something. Got him.
So
Winter,
for-
you're insane. You're suggesting Pudge and stuff. Telling me Mirana's the same as Earth Spirit.
Okay, what I meant was you have someone to help you at least. At least, I know it's not comparable, but it's something.
So what can the final piece of the puzzle be here for complexity? Their safe lane core. Putting up with a what could be a hard-hitting Sven. You have to worry about the Chrono locking you down, being able to be tanky enough to withstand the, obviously the Witch Doctor ward.
I'd say Pugna, they just go for it.
Go all in with the.
I think they'll get something physical
push.
damage because they got Beastmaster
10
Aura too.
seconds remaining.
But I feel like they
It
might
won't
go,
be all in.
They might go all in.
All in.
Oh,
No.
this is like in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
it's good,
Morphling's good.
good versus the Chrono.
Yeah.
You
can always morph.
You can always morph, and you have a good push as well. So in case if your 5-man doesn't work, you can go for that. Seems like a very balanced pick overall.
Yeah. And they can just use their push to like secure lots of early towers, get map control, and then go for the late game with Morphling if they need to.
Man, Swindle's bold. He's like giving away his strats on the couch like 3 days before.
Dude, that guy doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, he really
Did he
does.
say the exact same heroes?
He said he's like, I'm gonna heal a Jakiro. I want to pick that. I'm like, what? Do you just tell people that?
You think he's the kind of guy that he's like, that's just for group stage. Main stage, I got something even better.
No, I think Window's just he's like yeah. He's like wondering why we're not picking coL to win everything.
So it looks like we're about to have a game here, folks. Quick predictions here. Couch 1.
I'm gonna
Prepare
ride
for
EG.
battle.
to the
EG
end.
all the way.
EG all the way. Couch 2.
Well,
Well, I'm
Believe
going
in
with
the
Winter. I believe in Winter. Don't let me down yet.
okay.
Uncertainty.
I just like EG. I think EG's lineup is just much more solid.
All right, fair enough. Game's underway. We'll send it over now to our casters. It's going to be OD and Draskell. Have some fun.
Hey Dakota, we're ready to get ourselves going with the final game of this series, and what an eventful series it has been so far, Andy. We've had some great stuff going on. Looking at the drafts for this game, I don't think we can expect anything less. It's going to be action on top of action with a little bit more action.
Can't wait. I'm really curious to see how the Mid-Jakiro works out. I've heard of it before, but I haven't actually seen it personally, so I'm curious to see how Complexity are going to play around this.
30
Obviously,
seconds to battle.
it increases the tempo of your team in the sense that you're going to be pushing towers very early. Getting tier 1s down with a Jakiro, especially in a core capacity, is going to be very easy. It's kind of similar to Pugna in a way, except instead of going in jousting with the Nether Blast, you're going to be using the Liquid Fire to just chip things down, and plus he functions very well in a 5-man push scenario when you have the Beastmaster Inner Aura, or Inner Beast as well. So, everyone's going to spawn, both teams going to split up here.
The battle
Complexity get
begins.
top, EG get bottom. And I think that EG's team fight is probably a little bit stronger if the Sphere is good. If the Sphere isn't good, then probably still favor Complexity. Earth Spirit's like amazing team fighter if you can land a good bowler smash and silence. But yeah, it should be a close game.
I'm interested to see how the lanes pan out. Obviously, Fear on his Mirana is going to be roaming around the map. It's not the artsy Mirana that some of us may have dreamed about. It's just going to be the standard roaming Fear. I'll see how impactful he can be as he makes a journey around the lanes across the map. At the same time, Z-Freak, kind of a similar hero in capacity of what the Mirana's going to be doing at the earlier stages. It's just going to be interesting to see who has the bigger impact across the map.
I think it's quite a bit harder for Mirana to have the same impact. You're going to see the Universe getting harassed here pretty heavily. Gonna walk it off. The biggest difference between heroes like Earth Spirit and Mirana is that Earth Spirit is more reliable as some kind of help, and that's why they were kind of joking on the couch that the heroes aren't really directly comparable, because I think Earth Spirit's just a little bit easier to use, and I think in a general sense he can offer way more to a team. But if you land a Mirana arrow, it should be a kill.
You wondered how the mid lane Jakiro work out?
He got arrowed, so
Oh yeah.
arrow is death. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah. Fear on point there with the aim. Of course, they'll be very happy with that one somehow. Now getting the space to continue to break away here on the Lina 7 for 4. There's the 3 for 0 of the Jakiro. And top lane at the moment, a bit of action by the looks of it. Moving forward onto PPDs to Freak, just trading the slaps. He's going to be fine. Heads him back off. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the Jakiro mid. I mean, what do you feel Complexity have the need? Why do you feel that this is the game that they bring that out?
I think that it's a hero that offers a very unique style of play. Not many mid heroes with no items can just go push, right? Like if you have level 7, level 4 Liquid Fire allows you to kill a tower, no questions asked. Like the amount of damage that it does, the attack speed slow, any lineup that you put together is automatically like a push lineup. He has incredible stats, like 2.8 int gain, 2.3 strength gain, His laning phase itself is strong because he has a nuke pretty much that costs no mana in the form of Liquid Fire. Dual Breath is good wave clear and a very long duration slow. And he also has a disable, plus he just got 7 base damage in a recent patch. So I think that this hero could have seen a little bit more mid, and it's actually something that's extremely old school on top of it.
See that Fear is really looking for the potential to get an arrow in the mid lane. Hiding there in between the tier 1s and the tier 2s, ready to come in from behind. They can, if he feels he can get the angle.
This is a very hard angle to dodge as well.
Being incredibly patient here, Fear. He really wants to try and land it again. He knows if he hits the arrow, that's going to be a dead Jakiro. There's not really anything that Complexity can do in terms of turning up into lane to save him. The lineup and at this period of the game. Bottom lane Universe, he's struggling a little bit more at this game in terms of finding the farm that we've seen Universe get in the earlier 3 minutes of the first 2 games. He's got 6 CS at this point, but the levels are great here, and that's kind of what really matters here for the Void.
Yeah, they can't kill him. Like, Morphling does pretty much all burst damage. Handskin can kind of chip him down with Arctic Burn, but if you want to get the kill, you need to use Splinter Blast as well. And Limp's gonna spot out Fear here in the woods. Just look at how much damage that does. That was 1 Liquid Fire and a Dual Breath, pretty much. And it did that much damage.
Top lane going in here with the cast. They'll catch the Chaos Spirit out. G themselves another kill here in the laning stage. At the moment, it certainly feels like the lane's really favouring the side. Arrow coming through mid. Oh, it's going to be blocked by the creep wave though. They won't find the connection. Siegfried now coming in and we'll get the slow off onto Fear. He's got a leap in literally a second. It will be fine, just gets up to the high ground. Samel does pick off Limp at the same time. There's a rotation from the Winter Wyvern. Slows, catching out Samel. It pops the Fairy Fire and Complexity won't quite be able to get that. A nice light strike from the Lina, just thrown down onto Zifreak, so nothing can follow through. Top lane, RTZ moving in with a Stormhammer. The car's flying in as well. They'll advance under the tower here with a Warcry. They're looking for Swindles. Will they be able to get it? Yes, they will. They'll take him down. Handskin TPing in. Hasn't really got anything to throw out to catch out Arto and Valor. AC stuck in the river now. Zfreak is there. They got the burst to bring in. Look at the slow out. For the body block, Zfreak's like, you shall not pass. And RTZ says, I'll turn around and hit the dragon. They don't care. They'll take him down. RTZ caught out there in the river.
Nice that they were able to get themselves on the board. The first couple of exchanges have been heavily favoring EG ever since that first blood stemming from an arrow coming in from Fear. It just feels like the laning phase is important. EG always managed to perform in this matchup. And I'd always said it, at least in the last game, if it's just a game that's based around the laning stage, I would pretty much always favor EG. Although I do think that the Complexity have a really solid plan, and I think their 5-manning potential puts them about on par with what EG would do in a 5 versus 5 situation, assuming the draft isn't heavily favored towards one side when it comes to team fight. This time around, I don't really think that that's the case. Talked about, it's pretty much, does the Sphere land? If the Sphere is really good, then EG probably walk away with it. If not, I think Complexity have a good shot. But as it stands right now, it seems like top lane.
Swindles again. He's going to pop there. Let's look down bottom because Samel was hanging around. He wanted to use the Laguna Blade to try and go onto Chessie, but Zfreak and Hanskin come in. They catch him out of the jungle. Universe is about to pop the chrono, but Samel's going to get taken down. Chessie was able to jump through, and Hanskin getting the final touch. Now Fair and Universe have to be a little bit careful on this one. They'll start to retreat, and it looks like it will just be Samel going down, but Samel, he spent a good 30 seconds sitting there at the bottom lane trying to go in on Chessie. The Complexity, they saw that he was off the map. They made the movement down there, ready for EG, and they come out on top.
That was a really unfortunate Chronosphere as well. He probably wasn't expecting the waveform to be coming out at that particular point in time, because he dropped it in a way that makes me think he just wanted it to be defensive and used it to just walk it off, but fortunately for him, ends up just being a death for his mid player. It's not going to put him terrible of a spot. Considering the circumstances, he is a little bit behind on what Limp has right now, but experience-wise, he's doing okay.
Mid lane, Samel. He's going to maintain his position here for now. Still has that Laguna, of course, so if anyone comes too close, try and go for some action. The question is, what is the build here from the mid Jakiro? Will we just see the Yules coming out first for them?
I think Yules is really nice when you're actually leveling Ice Path, but this is the type of build that I feel is going to be more centered around going for push. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like Mech, for example. I think that's a really strong thing. You could also go Veil, since you have Earth Spirit on your team, and you have a good amount of magic damage too. I mean, your Morphling is eventually going to pick up E-Blade, but there are a lot of choices. And since we don't really see it that much, to be honest, it's going to be one of those things where you see it and most of the time it's going to be team oriented. I think with this type of draft, they are looking to push. So I would lean definitely towards the mech or perhaps the Veil.
5 for 2 at the moment on the scoreboard. Top 2 net worth over on the side of EG. Are beginning to slowly advance, and RTZ, he's the man at the top. Getting a lot of space top lane. Double 8 at this point. Live stealing the treads. He's going to feel very comfortable in this lane. And when looking at Complexity's lineup, they're going to need to throw a fair few heroes up there if they want to try and ever take down Artur on the Sven.
It's going to take a pretty heavy commitment. I mean, do you really want to go for the hero who's maxing out Warcry? He's already got armor with that ability, and their magic damage burst isn't tremendous by any stretch. They're going to need almost everyone actually take him down, and I don't really think they want to commit that many resources. Their game plan doesn't necessarily have to involve killing Sven. It can just be as simple as walking up and killing towers. Like Limp is level 7, he's got max level liquid fire. At this stage in the game, Complexity's lineup can already take every single tier 1 off the map. Just what Jakiro lets you do. Now if they're going to go for it that fast, that's a completely different story.
So, that's easy with the storm, but well, and they're straight there into the arrow. Looking for Zifri. The roar on Artur might actually, yeah, it's going to be up to that Zifri to get himself out. And now Complexity, they're the ones looking to turn this around. Jesse's coming on the Morphling. Great roar from Swindles there, saving the Earth Spirit. And RTZ is actually going to be the one going down. Limp comes in, the magical damage is too much. They don't give a damn about the Warcry there. And just great reaction there for Complexity.
Man, I thought for a second he was just going to let the Earth Spirit die, like he was walking forward as if he wanted to roar the backline hero, but gets it out just in time, allows a nice little bit of turn there. We were just talking about how difficult it is to kill the Sven. If you bait him into a bad engagement, that's a really good way of killing somebody without having to commit a lot of resources to it, and since EG were the initiators, it was quite easy to get Artur in a position where they could kill without the maximum amount of heroes necessary. But smoke here from EG. They're looking for potentially a sphere on middle lane. They do have Laguna still.
The Death Ward as well from PPD. If Universe can find an opening, find a couple of heroes, maybe even 3. There's 3 at the moment hanging around the mid lane with the side of Complexity. So if they come too close, Universe desperately hang in on the side. Wants someone to come forward. Who's it going to be? Limp? They know that they're playing very, very carefully. Looks to be that they're not going to get anything. Complexity, they're not going to come forward. EG realise that they can't waste too much time just waiting for something to happen mid, and they'll head off to do other things around the map. Universe will start to stack up the Ancients there as well.
Getting full use of the time when you're on the map. You have a Sven on your team who's maxing cleave, there's no reason not to try to get some attacks going. They do have a warded though.
Ah, yeah, it's blocked.
So,
yep.
It's a Complexity we're definitely feeling that that could be a possibility. And looks like Sumail is making his way towards the Yules. As soon as that's done, probably going to see some combo plays coming out. But the rotation from Complexity with a level 4 Liquid Fire, having red stuff on Limp. Tower just doesn't really do anything with Liquid Fire on it. That's probably the main reason. It's not even so much about the damage, even though it is good. The attack speed slow is what makes it so ridiculous. It's 50 attack speed that you lose as soon as one application of it is applied to the tower. So its ability to protect dives and also the ability for it to de-push just become awful. Makes Jakiro really nice if you want to have a very quick way of taking map control.
And so about map control is just the tier 1 for tier 1 trade. EG are able to take themselves down that top one in return. So overall the net worth difference is only 2k at this point of the game. Much still a close one. Complexity seeing if they can eye up something on the bottom lane. Both teams really just have the 2 supports hang around the mid lane, the safe lane, and alternate. But at this point, both teams are playing very safely, and we're not seeing that many people getting caught out of position.
Yeah, it's kind of because of the nature of the lineups, though. I think EG are actually more ultimate-based than Complexity at this stage. It's like we keep talking about, Jakiro can just walk up to towers and slow siege. If you have Beastmaster around, he has 2 points and an Inner Beast. You get a creep wave, couple of boars, a liquid fire, that tower is dead. Like, you don't require ultimates to do stuff like that, but EG, they have Chronosphere, Laguna, Mirana ulti's off cooldown now too, because here finally got level 6, and Witch Doctor Death Ward. So their team is much more 5 versus 5, you know, let's go fight, let's land a good sphere, and take the team fight, then push after. Where Complexities doesn't really need to rely on those cooldowns quite as much.
Oh, it's easy now. It's 1300 on top of the helm treads. What kind of build do you think we'll go for here on the Sven?
I assume he's just gonna go for the standard, just get SMY. Sphere bottom.
With the Hansken, some else there with the Laguna. They will bring down Hansken now. Chessie coming across, but the Moonlight Shadow will be enough to get EG out of there by the looks of it. Can't react to that one. So it's cost a couple of volts, but I guess EG never kill under their belt.
Fine. I mean, they were sitting in the area for quite a while. If you're not getting a kill because you're waiting for somebody who has a higher like kill priority, like Chessie or Limp, for example, then if you're sitting there for too long, you kind of have to throw out an ability to make it worth your time. Otherwise, you just back off and nothing is really accomplished. But after seeing Spear used, they're just going to go ahead and push the tower. Should be quite easy.
Should finally use the tier 1. I'll be interested if they stick around for more. And as you said with the ults, three of them down at the moment for EG. Complexity might want to use this to push for more. Same time, RTZ getting a bit of a split going on the top lane. They'll start hammering down onto the tier 2. And what did he pick up there? Was it the Blink Dagger and the... no, it was the Yasha. Yasha first here for Artur. So even though that farm game, Ice Path will catch out PvD way forward from Chessie. Pick up the Witch Doctor on the bottom. And that might give the space by looks of it for the side of Complexity to take down a tier 2. RTZ still standing strong here on the top. Trying to make some kind of reaction come out of Complexity, and it will come through the form of Limp. The Complexity, they were able to find the tier 2 on the bottom lane and certainly getting the objectives that their lineup requires.
It just goes to show how easy it is. Like, they see one teamfight ultimate used, and they're like, oh, well, we're gonna go ahead and just push 2 towers because we got Jakiro. That's just a strength that it offers you. Now, granted, a support Jakiro might not be level 9 by now, but a support Jakiro can also offer you something a little bit similar. Since if you have a safe laner who likes to rotate around, take game 2 when Artur was playing Clinks, decided to rotate safe lane to kill the Death Prophet. If you have a Jakiro support in that game, you can just soak EXP, but STP there. Gets himself out of harm's way. And Z-Freak 6-2, so they got the teamfight ultimates available on the side of Complexity now as well.
RTZ back to safety and back to the Ancients. More gold into the pocket of the big map. It's EG now with the smoke. Sumail and PPD. Death Ward and Laguna available. We saw them use Laguna at least to blow up Hansken before, and Hansken's been smart. TP's away. PPD and Sumail unlikely to find anything with this smoke here. At least they might be able to try and get that tier 1 bottom. Anything is going to be a trade, because Complexity, they've got their eyes on the tier 1 top. They should be able to take this one. We've already seen the pushing power of Limp on his Jakiro. EG, even with the ultimates up, they're just not in a position to defend this. And Complexity, is now try and go for more here, or will they respond to the push mid?
No, they're going. The thing is, if they get to base, and each base, EG are the ones who have to back, because Complexity have the better push. And also fighting into Chronosphere, fighting into Moonlight Shadow is probably something that with a Morphling on your team who only has a Yasha, doesn't seem like too attractive a choice right now. I think they'll be more than content to just push this.
It's going to be a tier 1 for tier 2 trade. Another very favourable trade here for the side of Complexity. They may lose the tier 1 bottom as well. He's trying to work on that, but Complexity, they want to go full in. Now, they're obviously going to be aware that they are fighting into all the ultimates of EG here. So EG, they have a good chance of accumulating a defense. Fighting into this high ground advance from Complexity. And there we go, Universe jumps in, gets the Chrono off onto Limp and Swindles. They'll drop the Death Ward down with the cold embrace. The physical damage doing nothing here to the Jakiro. Limp walks it off. Now Spring rolling in. The roar onto Universe, the Magnetize as well. Onto 3 heroes. Ice Path gets laid down onto 3, but EG healing up nicely thanks to Voodoo Restoration. PvD ticking down low, but he will survive. No one dying on EG, but at the same time unable to even kind of just break the health bars of Complexity as they walk out with full health. And no one gets punished.
Yeah, and EG are going to be feeling not so hot about that. They took quite a bit of damage on their tier 3. Like, that was only 2 liquid fires, I think, and the creeps just beat it down to almost half health. They drop their ultimates, they get no kills from it. That is not a good thing. Like, they need to be able to pressure, they need to try to find some kind of picks before Complexity are able to like regain their bearings and push again. Because if they keep getting to the base like that, eventually that tier 3 is going to be down. Then your racks are exposed, those eventually fall. Then you have a real big problem on your hands. So I would like to see EG playing a little bit more proactive, try to get out on the map, make sure that Complexity aren't going to be the ones getting to the tier 3s first, and just try to control the tempo themselves. Like, don't let Complexity dictate the pace of the game.
First, self back there, lads. Close to having that one done. Ether lens now finished by Samael. The mech, I believe, was right in the corner. Yes, he's picked it up now. Fear on the Miranda. So they are going to have a mechanism ready for the next fight. By the time the next fight comes around, the flats will almost certainly be complete on Universe. So they'll have a couple more auras and the burst heal as well to help and kind of stick the fights out a little bit longer. But the question really is the damage. Where's it going to come from? And you're looking at RTZ Sven, 1100 now onto the S and Y. I mean, does he have to get a BKB this game to be able to do anything in the fights, or do you feel he has to go kind of straight for a damage on it?
They have 2 disables that go through BKB, so it doesn't really seem like an amazing choice, but he might need it. Like, that's the problem with Sven in this game, is he might actually need to buy BKB, even though it's not even that good. Best case scenario, he pops BKB, then he gets roared, or he gets, you know, Winter's Curse, whatever. Either one, he ain't gonna be doing anything for a little while during that BKB duration. But at the same time, if he doesn't have it, then he can get Earth Spirit stun. He can get Yule's Ice Path. He can get slowed by Splinter Blast. There's just so many things that are annoying on the side of complexity that he has to worry about. So I think the Blink BKB standard choice.
Smoke up here, they're gonna run straight into it. It's a 3-man Chrono from Universe. Where's the follow-up? Here it comes. Manifest step forward, and he's coming in, but it's a freak with a beautiful stun. The cold embrace of the Swindle's gonna run. The 3-man Ice Path. Freak rolls across. They will lose the Beastmaster here, and now the Laguna coming down onto Hanskin. EG, this is their fight to take. They found 2. The arrow flying through. Jakiro will be used up there himself to dodge it, but in comes the rest of EG. They'll bring down the Jakiro. 3 dead on complexity as they begin to crumble. So Freak, he's caught out of the sidelines. They get the stun from Sven, leaping forward on Fear. They'll take down a 4. And EG, off the back of a brilliant Chrono from Universe, take a very convincing fight, the most convincing fight we've seen yet this game, and they'll get Roshan on top of that.
I mean, that was an insane initiation from Universe. Just catching 3 heroes immediately, smoke breaks, they're just on them straight away. And even though the cold embrace coming out from Zephyr was really nice, the damage had pretty much already been dealt. At that point, you're not going to get the kind of initiation that you want, and I'm pretty sure he didn't even get a chance to cast Roar, because he got stunned in the sphere, went to like 10%, then he got cold embrace, then he died.
Yeah, so then he just got Laguna straight up by somehow.
Yeah, the other thing too that I wanted to point out during that engagement is how good Voodoo Restoration is against Earth Spirit. Because it's all damage over time, right? So you're basically healing 40 damage every second that it's active, and the ability Magnetize at low level, it only hits for about 50, and that's before magic reduction. So honestly, it completely negates the damage. Like, how do you deal any more damage after that fact? You know, like if your Beastmaster is dead, he doesn't roar a target, you don't have any burst, there's no E-Blade up on your team yet. I don't really feel like complexity can look for the 5 versus 5 when the Witch Doctor is actually this far ahead.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, the video restoration is a huge issue at this point, and I think down to the point where we might even see, you know, the Swindles just eyeing up the Witch Doctor, getting the Necro units on, so getting rid of that mana, so PPD just can't sit there at the back healing up the team through all these kind of damage over time spells that Complexity have. They need to pretty much shut the Witch Doctor out of it.
This is a good move though. They're fully understanding that taking the engagement with all cooldowns being up on EG is just not a good idea for them.
Last pop onto Samael. Will be used up, and again Universe with the Chrono onto 2. And with the Cold Embrace onto Lim, and now the Death Ball coming through. Chetty's been stunned up. He's starting to morph, and he will get himself out of the replica, but they've already lost 2. The Circle across the freaking tries to roll out. Is he going to make it? Hansken will get the Winter's Curse off, so they do lose Fear, but they're looking to pick up a 4th again. And again, it's going to be a team fight where EG take 4. This time they do lose 1, but again, it's getting to the point where EG are coming out on top massively of every team fight, and it's all down to Universe's Chrono. I believe that was literally the second it came back off cooldown.
Yeah, it came off cooldown as they were pushing. I think City just felt very pressured to try to do something before ultimates were up again. Biggest problem that they're going to have with their lineup is trying to find that timing where Universe doesn't have Sphere, and they can try to push and end. Because this lineup with the Jakiro mid, it's very clear that this hero is not meant to go super late. Like, he can be kind of useful, but as a mid, he's not going to have the same kind of impact as the Lina late game. Like, not even close in terms of at least damage output and what he brings to the team. So they need to try to keep pushing, but the problem is, if they can't hit the timing when the sphere is down and they're losing fights so heavily, they're never making a trade. They're just getting wrecked. If you can't split them up, which their team is very bad at pushing, can't beat them in a 5v5, and you still have yet to high ground by like 30-35 minutes, their lineup starts to fall flat. So it's very concerning right now that Complexity have not yet been able to reach the high ground or even kill a tier 3 at this point. And by the way, old Hanskin Z-Freak earlier, and I kept thinking that Z-Freak was playing Winter Wyvern because he played it last game.
Talking about Z-Freak, rolling onto Artsor. Is there as well, looking for the perfect Angle for the ice path, isn't going to find it. Sees he's out of there with the war cry and the moonlight shadow from Fear. Be fine, but as you said, Complexity have got quite a hill to climb back up in. EG certainly looking to be in the stronger position, and Universe, we see two Chronos set up those two massive fights, and he's now just 100 gold away from having the Blade Dagger, so it's going to be even easier for him to find those openings to really set up the good stuff. Up here in the jungle, they found PPD straight off the Witch Doctor. RT's going to look for the TP out, but the stun from Earthspread catches him. PPD does get rolled there, was trying to glimmer and get himself out of that one, so they'll find the kill of the Witch Doctor. Can they get Artur as well? Lim setting this up with the Yule Scepter. They're going to slow down onto Artur. The Boar's chomping away at him as well. RTZ trying to fight himself out of this one. So Mail gets the stun onto Jesse on the sidelines, but they've already lost two here, EG. PPD and Artur are down. Complexity finding some very big clean kills there.
Downside is they're going to find out very shortly that EG have buyback, and the only person they're going to be able to force to buyback is going to be Sven, because the Witch Doctor will most likely be up in time, and Roshan is not even close to being alive, so they just realize, they're like, we can't really do anything with this. We get some picks, we'll take the advantage that we got from that, take our farm, get a little bit of map control, and then just go back to doing what we were doing before. But those kills are nice. It's so long before Chessie's going to be able to really offer a lot. Like the fact that he went for Yasha, he doesn't have the E-Blade combo, he's not really scary in terms of picking a hero off.
He's racking up the gold now, instead of finishing off the Mantra recipe. And okay, yeah, so yeah, he's just going to keep the Yasha. He is going for the Skadi.
He is going for Skadi.
He's picked up the orb.
Yeah, but I mean, he could just go Lincoln's now. Just keep the Yasha casual. I don't know if Skadi's that good. Maybe it's okay against Sven. It might not actually be that bad. I just think that in a lot of games, especially when you don't have a lot of burst on your team, like not having E-Blade, for example, you could kill Sumail with an E-Blade combo. That's a big deal. Like being able to burst him down, being able to burst down the Witch Doctor before Glimmer Cape comes out. Like this Skadi choice is very bizarre. Don't see this too often.
Swindles here. Bots before Blink. What do you think? Why say this game?
Well, I think in this scenario, they know that the game might devolve into split pushing in order for them to be able to win.
Oh, EG closing in. The smoke will be dispelled. They know that they're up there. Moonlight Shadow. Just going to allow EG to maybe close the gap even more. Universe was thinking in. Maybe seeing if you can find a Chrono out here. Complexity's still hanging around. They've got level 3 Necros giving them the vision. Force PPD back and EG on the retreat back to the base here. Chessie has got a haste. He's not going to go too close to that though. I want to run the risk of being Chronoed and taken down. It's again, it's one of those points in the game where very, very tense between the two sides. Looking towards Roche, still a fair few minutes before it is back. EG coming out again a bit more. Complexity are still over their side of the map. Oh, taking a bit of burn there from the Necro units.
They are indeed painful. Necro being down, Seer being up, this is actually an opportunity for EG to take a team fight. All they really have to do is wait for PPD to heal up.
And fail on Limp, ready for the next one. And you already talked about this earlier, how much damage it does. And here's the setup on the mid lane. They're going to try and bring down Chessie. He begins to morph. He's been stuck in the Chrono, but this man, with the Skadi, incredibly hard to kill. Not hard enough though. So Mail finishes off the deal there with the Laguna. But we saw just there with the Skadi how long it takes them to kill this Morphling.
Yeah.
But they do kill it. He's down for 45 seconds, and this man does not have buyback.
The other thing too is you could very easily make the argument that no item saves him from that. If he had E-Blade, he'd still die. If he had Skadi, he'd still die. If he had Manta, he would still die. There's just nothing that saves you from that amount of hate, unfortunately for him, so. Could be definitely on the back foot here. They have a couple of ways to maybe take a team fight. High ground defense they have is pretty decent. They have good wave clear. You just talked about the Veil pickup as well. Swindle potentially looking for a go here.
Oh, Swindles. I'm sure, but yeah, he's fine. He's got the bots. They're still on cooldown though for a bit of time, aren't they? 30 seconds. So he needs to be careful that he doesn't reveal himself, because this could be a little bit of a suicide mission.
Could actually kill Sumail if he roars him, if PPD is not too close. But I don't think he will.
Now he's gonna have the vision with the Hawk.
Okay. Bookie.
Stay calm, Swindles. Don't breathe.
He's not gonna move.
Oh, he's
Wait,
moving.
What? He's
going. He wants to do it, and with the Necro units, he might just. It looks like the casting's gonna be enough for the Glimmer Cape. Swindles, he'll be able to get himself out as well. He's got the rest of the team around. EG trying to initiate on the most of them in the mid lane, and well, somehow, again, it's easy as well. He's still sticking about here. Taking an adaptive strike to the face. Car's going for Universe. He's going to look for the opening for a chrono. Still 15 seconds though before it's going to be available. Let's see, on the Skadi, onto Universe. Yeah, now the rest of EG retreating. And one of those fights just a little bit messy. Neither team able to find the opening, and Universe just unfortunately didn't have that Chronosphere back off cooldown. He's going to have it now. Complexity, I think they're realizing that, and they're not sticking around for this one.
Why did they ult there? I'm so confused. Why did they Moonlight Shadow? Were they just trying to go ward?
Did they just expect Complexity to come further down? Further in?
I guess they are kind of lacking vision right now. Maybe they were anticipating a team fight happening there, but yeah, definitely not gonna be the case. But EG will be probably fine with it either way. Hitting the LT isn't a huge deal. It's not that long of a cooldown. Actually, at level 1 it is quite long. I thought he might have leveled it, but it's a little over 2 minutes. And now they're waiting for Roshan, which is going to be up in about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes.
I mean, when it comes to contesting Roche, do you think is there a clear winner?
Oh, EG is like really good around Rush.
The whole shebang.
Yeah. I mean, they have Blink initiation from Sumail. He's level 16. He's making his way towards Aghanims. Doing a burst is completely insane. That's kind of what Complexity are lacking, right? They don't have that bursty hero that just takes somebody out of the fight straight away, which I really think they need, and why I was kind of confused to see that Chessie decided to go for Skadi instead of for E-Blade or, you know, Lincoln's E-Blade, whatever normal build you want to do. Going for casual Helm of the Dominator or casual Yasha is pretty common on Morph because the hero needs the mobility from Yasha because he's very slow. And then having the Dominator allows you to sustain in the jungle without having to use Waveform, which is a big deal because Morph is pretty mana dependent when it comes to team fights. But he opted to go for something a little bit different here. It does make him super tanky though. That's the one thing about it that's nice. However, I don't think tankiness is the issue for Complexity. I think it's just they don't have any damage.
Still a lot of attention being put around this pit. It's now under a minute before Roshan is back up. Universe moving into the jungle. There is a fair few members of Complexity there for at the moment. This is fine. They don't have any vision here in the jungle on the side of Complexity. EG got a bit of ward control around the Roche pit. Complexity's still got that ward rocking around the Ancients, so they know the EG are sitting around. Still a lot of pings coming out. Both teams, it looks like neither of them willing to make the first jump, at least until Roshan is back up, and he is now up. So this could be the build up to a very, very key fight in this game.
Yeah, this is the breakout fight.
Yeah. And with the Moonlight Shadow going to lead in, but the Wyvern did pick up a gem. They are going to be ready for this one. I'm going to stun the illusion here. And they're going all out here. The Winter's Curse will be able to zoom out. They'll get the Chrono onto 2. Ice Path holding Melina back. There's the Roar onto PVD, but PVD kept alive there by Fierce Mech. He'll be able to ward us off with the Glimmer Cape. The Voodoo Restoration keeping him alive. But no, he still goes down. That was the first death of the fight. Chessie still fighting up. Arteezy getting caught out by the stun. Light Strike Laguna onto Limb. Have to go on the burst. The 3-man stop from Artor. Whoa! The hits from Sven. Chopping through Complexity. Is a double kill. Hands get over the TPI. He's going to make it the back. The Light Strike. Triple kill for Arteezy as they clean up house, and EG again wiping the floor with Complexity.
That was such bad turnaround for Complexity. Like at the start of the fight, Artor pops B, runs in, the Morphling goes into the Chronosphere with Artor, and Universe hits him with it as well. So all of a sudden, Artor's got like BKB out, stuck inside the Chronosphere. He's like, alright, well, this isn't necessarily the most fun thing I've ever experienced, but the focus fire coming out from Complexity, they had to go for a support because the other heroes are just too far away. Like they can't kill Artor with BKB on. He's got 2400 health and 43 armor. This is what I was talking about, is they just don't have any way of killing the Sven. You're not going to kill Sven with Magnetize and Jakiro damage when you have Voodoo Restoration and he's got BKB. He's also just purchased a full Assault Cuirass on top of that, so they're just going to go kill Roshan.
Arteezy, 17,500 net worth here, 5,000 above Morphling. Be even more now with this Roshan at the eyes, and as we can see the overall difference between the teams, over 15,000 now the lead for EG. Question is, can Complexity do anything about this Roshan? I don't think they're going to be able to get there quick enough. As we talked about with the AC, make sure work if they are starting to make movements over there. It's not going to be quick enough. EG should be able to get this, they're getting closer and closer. gonna still try and kick off a fight. Jesse on the front lines, Limp as well, setting something up with the Yaw Scepter. Looking for Arteezy, but Arteezy gets the BKB off in time. He gets the stun onto Limp, now he turns towards Jesse. Looking to try and bring down the Morphling, waveforms away. Now the Temple gets laid down. Limp, he's been caught in brace, so he's gonna be fine for the time being. The Chrono for Universe catches Twiddles and Jesse. Laguna, they're trying to bring down this Morphling. They want to kill him, and they will. That's gonna be the Morphling down. Morphling dead, stun from Artorta 2. Slashes through them. It's a nice stun from Zafreak, but it doesn't matter. They've already lost 3 on the side of Complexity. Now the rest of them have got to get themselves out. Blink forward from Samel, trying to catch at the Earth Spirit. Gets the line strike. Now with the Dragon stays the right clicks as well. Zafreak turns around. The stun, the silence, but Fear's there, helping out Samel. They'll chase down Zafreak. The arrow's gonna miss, but they use him up. They buy the time. Light strike down onto the Earthman, and he is dead. 4 falling on Complexity, and again, it's 23-8. EG they've stepped up the level of play across the series. Game 1 was tough for them. Game 2, they really came back into it, and now again in Game 3, EG just destroying Complexity at this point.
I really feel like Complexity's draft is... At first I thought it was okay, but the more I watch the game, the more I'm starting to realize that the Morphling timing just doesn't synergize with the rest of their team at all. Jakiro, Winter Wyvern, Earth Spirit, Beastmaster, all these heroes need to be able to apply pressure and kind of dictate the pace of the game for the first 20 to 25 minutes minimum. And then you have Morphling, who doesn't really come online until after that point. So maybe they were going with the idea that they could just get the Morphling some farm and hope that he'll carry the game. I mean, it just doesn't matter, dude. He doesn't care.
The Rex. Yeah.
This lineup of Complexity had to play a very fast-paced game in order to win against the cores of EG, and they just couldn't hit the timing.
Did they say GG?
They definitely didn't. I was like, wait a minute, did I miss them saying
Shanghai
GG?
Major. I mean, can we not have a fake GG from production, please? I think that's a bit BM. Anyway, Universe gets the Chrono out, they'll throw the arrow through as well. They'll stun up Z-Freak, they do get the Winter's Curse off. And now the Laguna onto Limp trying to move himself forward, but he is dead. Arteezy starting to clean up house. 2 fall on the side of Complexity. There's your GG, well played. And spoilers, please.
Well, we had a 322, we might as well have had a fake GG, right?
I guess so.
Now the series, and it's NA Dota, so the series is complete.
I don't know what's going on, but anyway, EG, they certainly turn up for the end. Yeah, now you can shut.
Alright. But no, I really do think that the tempo of Complexity's lineup didn't quite mesh up to what it needed to be. I think picking the middle lane Jakiro in conjunction with the Morphling was the problem. Maybe picking something like a Lycan or, you know, even a Drow, something that could actually allow you to push, or Luna, just gave you the ability to go high ground, not a Morphling. And the Morphling going Yasha Scotty also felt really bizarre to me. I don't know how the panel feels